Welcome everyone once again. Welcome back to A.O.S Academy's YouTube channel. Here we talk about everything related to language studies for those who are currently working on learning IELTS, learning English language, French language, Spanish, German. Likewise, we also assist people with exam preparations for maybe like IELTS exam, TEF Canada exam, or even TCF Canada exam. And lastly, we also assist people working on their Canada immigration. If, for instance, you are currently working on your application for study visa, work visa, permanent residency, we do apologize for actually starting late today. This is about 3:40 p.m. West African time and 8:42 Pacific Standard Time. For those who are in Nigeria, you note that the Nigerian election has actually started. You understand, since the morning. So we actually had to attend to some pressing issues on that. So that being said, we want to continue with our talk with A.O.S, which is the question and answers for today. And today we have another question being asked, which is the question 217. The question goes thus: the person asked, is it a must to have money in your account in order to be allowed in Canada? By Beatrice Ndila from Kenya. And the question, as you know already, was extracted from the JAPA to Canada in 2023 webinar Q&As. Now, this is a very good question because it relates to the do's and don'ts of immigrants, especially those that are entering the borders of Canada. And there's always a rule as regards what you can do and what you can't do when it comes to immigration. If, for instance, you are a student, an international student going to Canada to study, or you are a skilled worker, skilled worker in the sense that you are going for work permits, a temporary work permit, or maybe if you are even a permanent resident, you have to follow some regulations that has been set aside by the IRCC, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. And some of those regulations relate to the amount you need to have, you understand, before you can even process your permit or your permanent residency program. Likewise, you also need to show some things as regards the funds that you are bringing into Canada. So if your question was if it was centered on the fact that you need to have proof of funds, I would say yes, you need to have some certain amounts in order to sponsor yourself, especially if you're working on permanent residency. If you're also working on international students, you together with your sponsor would need to have some certain amount as regards the money that you would use for your tuition fee, the money for your living expenses, and the money for other miscellaneous. Likewise, if you are going under the work permit, you need to show that you have a job offer, a valid job offer from a Canadian employer that would be used to show your proof of funds to actually live and survive in Canada. However, if you are at the point of entry into Canada, you do not necessarily need to have money in certain accounts. Do you understand? In order to be allowed into Canada. And I would explain that if you are an international student, for instance, they would not expect you to have some amount in your account that you would have to tender a bank statement or something like that in at the point of entry, except if they doubt your application and if it is just it's just part of the routine checks. But if you are getting Canada, I to actually have currency with you. So take for instance, if you have more than 10,000 Canadian dollars, you must actually show the Canadian Border Agency, the CBSA, Canadian Border Services Agency, in to you understand, inform them that you have more than $10,000 cash with you. But apart from the cash that you would have with you, you can actually have other amounts in your bank account which is not mandatory for you to show, which is not mandatory for you to, you understand, tender before you can be allowed entry into Canada. Take for instance US citizens or residents who are going to Canada, maybe going there for work or going there to visit. You understand, at the point of entry, because as you know it, the US, United States of America, and Canada actually share the same road borders. So most times people can actually go into Canada without necessarily having any money in their bank account. and they could even go into Canada with their cars, driving into Canada without, you understand, showing any proof of funds whatsoever, especially if they are to leave Canada either the same day or few days, you understand, after they actually entered into Canada. So it is not necessary for you, once again, to have money with you in cash, you understand. And if you have, you are not necessarily needing to tender that amount unless it is more than the threshold of 10,000 Canadian dollars that you are bringing at once into Canada. But if you are in the process of working on your study visa, your work permit, or your permanent residency, then you will need to show some certain fees or some certain monies that you have in your bank account so that you can actually get that work permit or that study permit or that permanent residency visa, you understand, before you are even allowed to get into Canada. So I hope that answers that question. If you have any questions, you can actually reach out to us on our contact. You could also go on aosacademy.com to actually learn about what we do. And if you have any questions, you can drop it on the comment section of this video or the live chat section of this video, so that if we are not even chance to respond to it now, later on we would work on it or would answer it in another session that we actually organize. So thank you very much. Kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already. Hit on the notification bar to get notified anytime we drop a content, and also like and share this video with your friends and with your family. And thank you very much once again, and I do hope to see you in the next Q&A session. Bye for now.